Okay, I've kind of taken on a little project here of editing some 8mm footage shot from 1968 to roughly 1972. Had it all pieced together in multiple reels, and some family members decided to take it and get it all converted over to digital, and making just a little video of some of the fishing, diving exploits going down to the Keys. They're staying in Marathon and traveling down to Cudjoe and heading up into the Gulf, roughly in 15-20 miles, Content Keys area, and just catching lobsters, and ended up making it full family get together, bringing down multiple relatives over a few week period, and just enjoying it. And you're seeing some large piles of lobster here. These are all, of course, all caught legally with a commercial permit, but which is very easy to obtain at the time. It's just a matter of going down to the tax collector's office and applying for one, and you received it. Unlike today, where there's a very limited amount of still active commercial lobster permits for divers anyway. But so you'll see the guys here just tailing them all out and taking them all home. Some will go to market, but most are going to go back to for their personal consumption. I'm going to let the video run here as I kind of ramble on, but most of the diving they did then was in from 5 to 15 feet of water. Of course, all free diving is I guess 72, 73 they finally got their first tanks and started going with that. Then they would go out to 20, 25 feet, but as they started to get a little deeper, they found more of the larger jewfish like you see in the picture now. But what you're about to see is the diving vessels they used here. You can take a look. I'm not quite sure of the whole names there, a little before my time, but typical Glastron. There's my dad and my Aunt Barbara. But Glastron little pleasure hull, but they work just fine for hauling 6-8 guys down to 15-20 mile ride, and they get out and you can almost wait around for the lobsters then. But so again, you see the nice red interior. Not quite what we're used to. And there's the little pop top bush can there. That was quite a few of those consumed along with their free diving adventures, that's for sure. You can see Uncle Pat here, the probably 30-pound jewfish it looks like. I don't think I've ever seen him not wear shoes anywhere he goes, and obviously it was the same back then. When I was in my teens, I used to wonder why I was so skinny, and then seeing pictures of Dad here in his teens, and now I know why, and here's what I have to look forward to. Okay, the next couple gentlemen you're going to see here, that's Gene Sykes. He was pretty much the ringleader. He got everybody together, taught my father and my uncles how to dive. A typical Florida cracker, could hunt, fish, you name it, dive, and he could do it all. But you see my grandfather coming in the frame in the top right there, holding a beer in his hand. But it's good to see where you come from, and seeing where your parents learned it from, and of course those guys learn from their parents. And, my family's been here a long time in Florida. It's fun to see how things were back then. Okay, here is the boat launch at Cudjoe Key. Look off to the left to be where the weather balloon was. But the best clips here coming up to seeing these guys running. There's my grandfather unloading the boat. You can see the station over there where they launched the balloon. But here's your typical dive crew. 19-foot boat with 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 6 people on the boat there, and riding on the bow. Be a Coast Guard's worst nightmare. Just gonna let the footage run here. These guys cruising out to the spot. Again, they'd launch at Cudjoe and run up into the Content Keys area. 15-20 mile run, a typical day. And again, you can see there's 6-7 guys on each boat, rated for maybe 2 or 3 people, but they'd load it down with mask and snorkels, a couple spear guns, and head up there and stuff the bags full. And this is back in the good old days before they had the bottom machine and the GPS, Loran, you name it, and finding the spot from the day before was non-existent unless you had the buoy or real close to a couple landmarks. But even back then, open lobster season, you can see it was pretty busy. Okay, we're going to start some spear fishing here now, but from what everyone tells me that was actually there, they were typically mainly after lobsters, but whenever they decided to have a fish fry, they'd get together and go out and round up some smaller snappers, hogfish and stuff for personal consumption. Any of the jewfish you see here, they all went to the fish market, but when it came to the small fish, that was all personal consumption. And whenever they had some friends down that didn't get fish regularly like they did at home, they would definitely send them back with what you're seeing here. A lot of small mangroves, and you'll see a couple nice hogfish and a little gag or a black there as well.